here. Today I'm bringing you his Dark Materials trilogy. I have this amazing edition, I love it. And well, what I wanted to do here, it was Philip Pullman said that he thought of his book as being a single book, but for publishing reasons he had to divide it into three books: The Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. The thing here is that I wanted to read it like it was one book as he intended, and I have to be honest here and say that while I love this story, I wanted it to end. Because maybe for me it would have been better if I had chosen to read them separately, like three books, and alternate another reads in between, because by the end of it I just wanted the book to end so I could move on, because I love all the ideas this book expresses, but I think that it suffers from a lot of verbosity. The characters like to talk and talk and talk, and sometimes it's a very good way of putting the reader in situations so the reader knows what's going on, but it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of description, it's a lot of words. So by the end of the book, I just wanted it to finally be over. So yeah, I love this trilogy a lot. I mean, the ideas on these books are amazing, and the imagination that Philip Pullman put into this trilogy, it's wow. I mean, it's astonishing. I have to come and say that these books began to be written 25 years ago, so you're going to see the way in which it's narrated, the way in which the characters are constructed, some portrayals, some actuations of these characters maybe today will have been done differently, I don't know. But maybe Lord Asriel, if you see the TV series, he's a lot different from the Lord Asriel from the books, in which that he doesn't physically handle Lyra. For instance, in the book we have him in the first chapters, he grabs her from the wrist and just kind of does something to her, and that's something that maybe today it wouldn't have been written, or it will have, because Lord Asriel has this strong personality, I don't know. But why I did love this book? I love this book because I love Lyra. At the beginning of the book, the first book in Northern Lights, I hated her because she was a brat. She did whatever she wanted to do. She lied a lot. She finds she lies her way out of everything, and she thinks that she's superior because she's in that cool school called the Jordan College, and she looks at everyone else like they are lessers. So I wanted to strangle her, honestly, in the first book. But as you keep on reading, she goes through this growth, and you can see her changing in front of your eyes, and she has this amazing evolutive arc, and I love her by the end of the book. So it was amazing. And I think that there's lots of characters, Lord Asriel or Miss Coulter or some of them, that you think that there's a certain way, and when they change and when they do something in front of your eyes, it's like, oh my god, I didn't see that one coming. So it's amazing. All the characters are so well constructed. And I have to say that I love this story. I love the story of the first book, where we have this magical world where polar bears can talk, and we have these demon creatures that are like a part or the soul of the bear, of the person. It's like they reflect who the person is inside, and I love how Will, the owner, the person is young, these demons can keep on changing forms, but as the person grows, they settle on one form that reflects who they are, and I found this idea amazing. And I love all the magic, all the flying balloons, everything in this first book I love, and I was amazed by the talent of the author. And I have to say that when we end the first book and went on to the second one, and we began to see all these multiverse ideas, and we began to see different worlds and different portals through different worlds, and where we first saw a wall of magic and religion, now we see one of science, and one that's very similar to our world, and we see the differences, and we see two characters. I'm not going to say much in case you haven't finished read the trilogy, but we are going to find these two main characters that come from different worlds, with different ways of growing up, with different ways of seeing the world, of being, and these two characters find each other, and it's amazing. And I have to say that while the reading progresses, we are going to see even more worlds, we are going to see even more creatures, more ways of living, and I love the idea that Philip Pullman just did all of that. I mean, this book tackles lots of important things like religion, magic, the power that corrupts people, how to stop the authority. I'm not going to say much about that. How maybe religion shapes people but also puts them in a cage and doesn't allow them to grow. I love the metaphysical opinions. I love the science facts that he puts in the middle. And yeah, I have to be honest here and say, okay, I could accept polar bears, I could accept diamonds, I could accept lots of things, but when we began to see angels, it was like, what? Yeah, I'm like that, I don't know. It was hard for me to see the angels and the idea of God thrown here, and it was like, there were times in which I thought that the book was derailing a lot. It also happened to me with those animals who had wheels, and yeah, I don't know, sometimes it felt like it was too much for me, but I love the imagination that Philip Pullman has and what he did in creating all these worlds and the way he had of putting them all to work, and all that Lyra had to do in her life to fulfill the prophecy that's hinted in the first book. And I have to say that honestly, I love the books, I love the idea of the books, despite these different characters. As I say, I'm not going to go into lots of detail in case you're just reading the first one. I don't want to spoil the rest of the books for you, but it's amazing what he wrote in here. And thinking that he wrote that 25 years ago, it was like, oh my god, it's amazing, because some of the topics that he covers are some topics that we still have today. So the things that are done in the name of religion, maybe, or whatever science does in order to evolve. I mean, sometimes there's experimentation, and sometimes there's people dying in the name of science, but also there's people dying in the name of religion. So he goes and exploring all that dark paths, and it's amazing what he does. And as I say, all the characters are amazing. And yeah, I love the books. I know that at the beginning I say that I honestly just wanted it to end because it's like 1,100 and so 1 pages. I mean, I think it's 1,102 pages. So yeah, by the end I just wanted it to end so I could go reading a lot of other books. But maybe it was my fault. Maybe I should have stopped it after the second book and just take a pause, but I wanted to read it as I say, as a whole book, because that's how Philip Pullman intended it to be. I personally think that if you read the 3 books separately, it will be better, because you can interchange other reads in the middle so you don't get saturated. But in the case that you read it like a one book, I think that maybe there were parts that could have been taken out, because sometimes the reading just it's like very slow and it drags and it bores. But I don't know, maybe it would have been better, as I say, to have read it like 3 separate books. All in all, I have loved these books. The first 2 ones are a solid 4 stars over 5 for me, and the third one it's like a 4 stars over 5, and I think it is because as I say, I wanted it to be over so I could go on reading different things, because I was kind of saturated with the way he has of explaining things. So I think it's a very recommended book. If you are seeing the TV series and you are liking it, I have to say that they are very well done and that they follow the books very closely. So if you are seeing the TV series and are thinking, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the books, just flip through the pages, read a bit, and if you like the way in which the author writes and expresses things, you are going to love the trilogy, because it's very similar, the series, to the trilogy, to the books. So yeah, I hope it all makes sense, but I didn't want to say too much in case you were going to read the second or the third book and I didn't want to make a spoiler. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye!